Good morning.
Good morning, ma'am.
Only a few today. Many are absent. What happened? Any other class going on? No. Okay. So what did we learn till now? Did you read? Ashish, did you read? Are you able to follow? Yes. Elvina, about
Yes,
you? Yes. Aishwarya, did you go through the portion?
yes, ma'am.
Mehak,
Yes, ma'am.
yes. How different it is from your earlier classes? If you are not able to follow or if you face any difficulty, please let me know. Okay. Amal, did you read the textbook? Why? Why? Huh? Why? I need a reason. Why? Stop biting your nails. Tell me why. Why didn't you read? Unmute. Why didn't you read? Huh? Tell me a reason. Amal, tell me a reason. Don't waste time. Forgot. Should I remind you daily in the evening? No. Then who will remind you to read? You will read. Tomorrow will you read and come the whole portion? Sure. And who will study? Who will study that portion? You will study. I'm trying to make out what he is telling. I don't understand what this boy is telling me. Will you study? Take it with that seriousness. Okay, you're +2 now. Fine. Okay. Okay. Which theories did we learn last class? Which all theories?
One factor and two factor theories.
One factor and two factor theories. One factor theory is also known as
Unifactor.
unit factor theory. And then second one was two factor theory. It was proposed by
Charles Spearman.
Charles Spearman. And the first unifactor theory was proposed by
Alfred Binet.
Alfred Binet. Okay. Now, which are the two factors in the two factor theory, Mehak?
G factor and S factor.
G factor and S factor, which stands for
General factor and specific factor.
general factors and specific factors. Then we learned the primary mental abilities, PMA. How many primary mental abilities are there? Sana? Sana, were you absent yesterday? Both the classes you were absent? Okay. Did you go through the portion? No. Please read it and tell me tomorrow. I'll ask questions. Okay, Elvina, how many primary mental abilities are there?
7.
7. And who proposed that theory, Ashish? PMA. 7 PMA. Louis? Louis? Don't know. Can you name a few of primary mental abilities?
Word fluency,
Hmm.
memory,
Hmm.
indoor,
Indoor games.
word fluency, memory,
Ah.
speed,
What speed?
numerical
Numerical ability. Yes.
ability, verbal conception,
Comprehension.
verbal comprehension,
Yes. That's all you remember. Okay. Who proposed the primary mental abilities, Saina?
Louis Thurston.
Louis Thurston. And how many PMA are there?
7.
7. Okay. And we learned about another theory, which is a hierarchical model. It was proposed by
Arthur Jensen.
What is the spelling? Don't write AUTHOR. That's
ARTHER.
ARTHUR. Arthur Jensen. JENSEN. Arthur Jensen's what theory? It is a hierarchical model which has how many levels?
2 levels.
2 levels. Somebody just crossed Mehak and went. 2 levels. Yes, 2 levels. And which are the 2 levels? Anybody?
Level 1, level 2.
Level 1 and level 2. Very simple. Level 1 and level 2. And level 1 is related to what learning?
Associative learning.
Associative learning. And level 2 is related to Grishma?
Cognitive competence.
Cognitive competence. Very good. So clear till now? Okay. Aishwarya, did you find any doubt after reading?
Ma'am, inductive reasoning.
Inductive reasoning is the reasoning from specific to general, just like bottom-up processing. Okay. Suppose, again, the example that I explained yesterday was from a sack of coins. From a sack of coins, I just pick up one coin. It was a 5 rupee coin, 5 rupees coin. So with that, I judge that the whole sack contains 5 rupees coins. So from specific coin, I judge the whole set of coin. So specific to general, the reasoning that goes from specific to general, that is known as inductive reasoning. You induce it. It is the opposite of deductive reasoning, which means from the general, you try to deduce something. We have learned hypothetical deductive reasoning, isn't it? Hypothetical deductive model in the first year. Yeah, it is the opposite of that one. Inductive reasoning, which means we go from specific to general. Understood? Okay. Now, anybody remember what rote learning was? Rote learning.
Repeating.
Repeating. The learning by repeating or association, that is known as rote learning. Amal, did you attend the classes?
No,
Did you see the recording?
no, ma'am.
Amal Kesaji. I'm sorry. Yeah.
No, ma'am.
No. Please go through the portion. Otherwise, there'll be a lot of portion pending up. Okay. Yes. So we'll just discuss the cognitive competence and then leave. I hope you understood what associative learning is. Learning through association, for example, that is rote learning and memory. In that, what is given? The input is somewhat similar to the output. What does that mean? What does that mean? Tell me. What is the first level, Ashish? First level is associative learning. So in Jensen's theory, level 1 and what other level is there, Raina?
Level 2.
Level 2. Yes, level 1 and level 2 are there. In level 1, It is associative learning. And again, Aishwarya, what was the second one?
Cognitive competence.
Cognitive competence. Okay. Here, what is written in level 1? Amal Raj, please read out. What is the explanation given there? Level 1. Level 1, Jensen's theory, level 1. Read that. I can't hear. Can anybody hear him? No. You're not audible, dear. Meghna, can you read?
Level
Yes.
1 is associative learning, in
Hmm.
which output is more or less similar to the input. Example, rote learning and memory.
Yeah. Output is more or less similar to input. In rote learning, what happens? What is an example of rote learning? Anyone?
Teaching rhymes.
Teaching rhymes. So how do you teach rhymes?
By repeating it so many times until the child learns.
Yes, by repeat. The teacher repeats that so many times until the child learns it, isn't it? So yesterday we did one example. Remember? We did one activity yesterday. So what happens? What is the input that the teacher is giving to the child? For example, our Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. What is the input that the teacher is giving? What is the piece of information that the teacher is giving to the child?
The rhyme.
The rhyme,
words.
the words of the rhymes or the sentences in the rhyme. Yes, and what does the child reproduce, or what is the output that we get from the child?
Child repeats it.
Child repeats it, the same, isn't it? So that is why it is said the output and input are both somewhat similar in which learning? Which learning is it? Sana, which learning is it? Yeah, unmute and say. Associative learning. Okay. And in cognitive competence, what is given? I should read out.
Level 2, called cognitive competence, involves higher order skills as they transform the input to produce an effective output.
Yes. This is called cognitive competence because it involves higher order skills. Higher order skills. Higher order skills like the rational thinking, critical thinking, abstract reasoning. What do you mean by abstract reasoning? Wait, I'll give you one example. Who will volunteer for the activity? Anyone? Yesterday I told you no inhibitions in psychology class. Who will volunteer? I'm not asking you to dance. Who will volunteer? Tell me. Aishwarya. Okay, good. Just read this.
A.
A. Okay. Now, what is this?
Some sort of figure that is kind of related to A.
Some sort of figure that is kind of related to A. Again, it is looking similar to A, isn't it? Now, I am asking a 2-year-old or maybe 3.5-year-old kid. The kid has learned or started learning ABCD. And I'm showing both these figures to that kid. Okay, understood the situation? kid is of 3.5 years. The kid has started learning ABCD, and I am showing both these figures to the kid. Will the kid be able to recognize or identify this thing? The first one.
Yes.
What about the others? Aishwarya says yes. Elvina, what do you think?
No.
No. Mehak, what do you think? No. Raina,
No.
I'm asking about first one, not the second one.
The child is studying ABCD.
Yeah, child has studied ABCD. I'm sorry. The child has studied ABCD. Will the child be able to recognize this one? That is my question.
Yes.
Yes. If the child has studied ABCD, then of course he or she will be able to recognize this. Just remember that the child or the kid has just started to learn ABCD. So the child knows what ABCD is because this is the basic form that the teacher is teaching the kid. Now, if I present this one, the second one before the child, will the child recognize it? Amal
No.
Keshaji, what do you think? What do you think?
Ma'am, sometimes.
Sometimes. Rishma, what do you think? No. Okay. If the child is very gifted, very intelligent, very brilliant, then the child might recognize this as something related to A. But others with normal or average intelligence, they wouldn't consider this figure as an A. For that, they require higher order skills such as abstract reasoning. Have you seen abstract drawings? Abstract paintings? And did you make out anything out of that? Did you understand why the artist has depicted such a picture? Yes? Yes or no? Again, I'll draw one more thing. Consider this as a frame. Okay? What all are there in the picture? Or what is it? If I ask you to give a heading to this, what will you write? Come on, artists. Sana. Me. Meghna, what do you think?
Sunrise or sunset.
Sunrise or sunset, scenery, landscape, all those things, isn't it? But again, if I depict this in the form of then I give some geometry into it. Would you understand anything? Yes?
No.
No. And there are abstract paintings, and from that, different people conceive different things. That is, the artist has something in mind, and that he or she depicts in the picture, in the drawing. And if common people who don't know much abstract kind of painting, if we just go for an exhibition and we go and watch all sorts of exhibitions, we see different abstract paintings, and we come back home with our own stories about the picture, isn't it? If you go with your dad, mom, your sister, your brother, and your friends and all, each one of us will have our own conceptualization of that abstract painting. Is it not? You agree with me? Yes. So that is why it is called abstract reasoning or higher order skills. So will a child of 3.5 years or 2.5 years be able to think in the way that you're thinking regarding the abstract painting?
No.
Again, no, because that child or that particular kid knows only to give the output similar to the input that is given, because that is his or her age. But in cognitive competence, what happens? There are higher order skills involved. That is the key terms to be used. Higher order skills involved. Okay, that is the difference between the two levels, level 1 and level 2. In level 1, we just associate and learn. That is very simple. But in when we come to the second level, that is cognitive competence, it is higher order skills which are involved. Higher order skills which are related to abstract reasoning. Then what else is given? Anything else given as examples? No, just copy down abstract reasoning and keep. It's not given in your text. Abstract reasoning. Another one can be critical thinking. All those involves higher cognitive skills. Got that?
Ma'am,
So who proposed? Yes, I should have.
so does these two levels occur at different ages?
No, that's what I was just going to say. Yes, for small children, the more processing or more type of learning would be associative type. Okay, because they don't have the capability to reason in an abstract manner. But have you noticed after a certain age, they start questioning things. Mama, why is this like this? Why is that like that? Why is sun coming in the morning? Why is moon coming at night? Then why are you eating with a spoon? Why are you eating a sadhya with your hand? Why does this look like this? Why does dad has a mustache and you don't? Yes, they start to question things. They start to be curious about life, isn't it? At that particular time, they start some form of higher order skills or abstract reasoning or critical thinking. Okay, this is not age based, but what are we studying? What is this theory? What is it based on? What theory are we learning? A theory of what are we learning?
Intelligence.
Intelligence. So both the levels are based on intelligence of a person. Okay, and just read that first sentence. Arthur Jensen proposed a hierarchical model of intelligence consisting of abilities operating at two levels, which means in a person there are a totality of abilities, but there are two levels of it. Understood? One level is a very simple level, that is associative learning. The output that you get is similar to the input that you give, similar to the rote learning or the memory. Memory, what do? We learn something. Suppose if you are learning this theory, you reproduce it somewhat similar to this itself, isn't it? If you are learning Jensen's theory, would you reproduce in terms of something that you learned in Hindi language? No, you reproduce in terms of psychology itself. So that is the similarity between input and output. That is associative learning. That is only one level of our capabilities. Another level is cognitive competence, which involves higher order thinking skills or higher order skills. One example is abstract reasoning. I hope the example of abstract painting would be enough to explain that, isn't it? Clear? Everybody? At least say a no or a thumbs up. Yes. Done. Everybody. Amal, KSIT, did you understand? Okay, fine. Now shall we move on to the next one? Okay. Who will read? Elvina, read the next one. J.P. Guilford proposed that.
J.P. Guilford proposed the structure of intellect model, which classified intellectual traits among three dimensions: operations, contents, and products. Operations are what the respondent does. These include cognition, memory recording, memory retention, divergence prediction, conversion prediction, and evaluation.
Just a minute, just a minute. See how many terms are there? Just in one theory, just in one part of theory, did you see how many terms are there? And we have just started +2. That's why I told you, revise it daily, otherwise you will lose track. Okay. Now, again, just summarizing. Who proposed the one-factor theory?
Alfred Binet.
Alfred Binet. Then, who proposed the two-factor unifactor theory?
Charles Spearman.
Charles Spearman. And you guys never lose your timings. When Aishwarya says, Meghna will also say together. Okay. So next one was the primary mental abilities. Who proposed that?
Louis Thurston.
Louis Thurston. Now nobody's speaking. Louis Thurston. Okay. Louis Thurston proposed how many primary mental abilities?
7.
Told you to remember with the starting of Louis Thurston. If you inverse it, you get 7. 7 primary mental abilities are there. Okay. And now the last one that we learned was proposed by
Arthur Jensen.
Arthur Jensen. Okay, Arthur Jensen. Don't write author, it is Arthur, Arthur, Arthur Jensen. And the difference between the other theories and his theory was that it was a what model?
Hierarchical.
Hierarchical model. And it has how many levels, Elvina?
2 levels.
2 levels. Which were the 2 levels, Ashish?
level 1, level 2.
Level 1 and level 2. Didn't you like this theory so much? Level 1 and level 2. Very easy to remember. And what was level 1 dealing with, Rishma?
Associative learning.
Associative learning. What was level 2 dealing with? Amal Kesaji?
Cognitive learning.
Cognitive competence.
Cognitive.
Cognitive learning, yeah, cognitive learning or cognitive competence, more of competence. Okay, now next one is J.P. Guilford's theory. Please take down in the lecture notes J.P. Guilford. Most of them are weird names and weird spellings, so make sure that you learn the spellings along with the definitions and theories and all. J.P. Guilford. In this, he classified intellectual traits, that is basically intelligence, among 3 dimensions. It was a 3D depiction of intelligence, 3 dimensions. Okay, and the 3 dimensions were operations, contents, and products. Contents, operations, products. Okay. Any mnemonic? You should have found one. What was it?
COP. COP.
COP, cops. Who are the cops?
Contents, operations, and
No,
products.
usually, generally, what do you mean by cops?
Police.
Police, yes. So imagine that police comes in. Which car?
Ford.
Car. Okay. Contents, operations, products. And the order usually is like this. We have one numerical depiction also. So importance of J.P. Guilford's theory was, it was a 3-dimensional depiction of intelligence. Jensen's theory was a what kind of depiction? What model was it? Again, hierarchical model. Yes, correct. And J.P. Guilford's model is different, slightly different from that. It does not have a hierarchy, but it has 3 dimensions. And the three dimensions were contents, operations, products. Got it? Okay, now we'll see what they are in separate. Who will read? Meghna. Operations.
What the respondent does.
Hmm.
These include cognition, memory, recording, memory retention, divergent production, convergent production, and evaluation.
Yes.
Contents refer to the nature of materials or information on which intellectual operations are performed.
Hmm.
These include visual, auditory, symbolic, example letters and numbers, semantic, example words and behavior, example
Hmm.
information about people's behavior, attitude, needs, etc.
Hmm.
Products
Yes.
refer to the form in which information is processed by the respondent.
Hmm.
Products are classified into the units, classes, relations, systems, transformations,
Transformations,
and functions.
implications. Okay. Since the classification
Since the classification
includes
Guildford includes 6 into 5 into 6 categories, therefore the model has 180 cells. Each
Yes.
cell is expected
each cell is read complete.
Each cell is expected to have at least one factor or ability.
Hmm.
Some cells may have more than one factor. Each factor is described in terms of all three dimensions.
Hmm.
The above mentioned theories are representations of psychometric approach to understand.
Yeah, the above mentioned theories are representations of psychometric approach to understand intelligent behavior. So if I ask psychometric theories, you have to write Alfred Binet's theory, Charles Spearman's theory, Louis Thurston's theory, Arthur Jensen's theory, and J.P. Guilford's theory. Okay. Now, coming back to J.P. Guilford's theory, how many cells are there in the three-dimensional figure? It's like a Rubik's cube. Sometimes it's presented like a part of the Rubik's cube, the three-dimensional figure. And how many cells are there? 6 into 5 into 6. That would make how many cells? How many cells are there in total?
180.
180 cells. Equal to 180. 180 cells are there. Okay, now operations. Let's see what operations. So basically, operations means they are what the respondent does. So whatever process you do, that comes under operations, like memory retention, how you encode things, how you store things, then the cognition, generally thinking, all those comes under operations. Then contents, they have the nature of materials or information on which the intellectual operations are performed. For you to perform all these functions, you need some amount of information that you might get from the sensory system, like auditory, it might be visual, it might be from your memory system, anything. That information, the type of information comes in the contents. And the product, what do you mean by product? The output, no? Generally the output. So what are products? Products are classified into units. They refer to the form in which information is processed by the respondent. After you get the contents, you do the activity, that is the operations, and then you get some product. That is, in what form does it come as a result or as a final product? That is the last dimension, that is products. And what all are there in the products? Products are classified into units, classes, relations, systems, transformation, and implications. Okay. These are the basic things. So again, coming back to operations. Operations are what the respondent does. Operations are what the respondent does means in any process that this person, I mean, if we are considering an intelligent person or the intelligence of a person, if that person is engaging in different processes like cognition, memory, recording, memory retention, divergent production, convergent production. Divergent and convergent production we learn, okay, because it is again a vast topic in cognitive psychology. So just underline that and keep. Then contents refer to the nature of materials or information. That is the typical nature of the materials that we are using to process the information. In operations, what are we doing? We are processing that information. What type of information are we processing? That depends on your contents. It may be sensory, it might be auditory, or something related to that. And after processing or after operating on the contents, what you get as a final result is the products. Do you understand? Yes. We use the operations to act or operate on the contents, and then after the operation, what is the end result? We get the products. Learn like that. Got it? So operations involves all the processes. Contents involves the type or form of the information. And in products, we have the final end result or the form of information or form of what is given, that form in which information is processed finally. And the example, see the examples, it can be classified into units or classes. Suppose you are studying about carnivores, herbivores, omnivores, all those things. Okay. And you are thinking about different animals that you see and you are processing it in some form. You're seeing it. I told you, if a cat comes in front of you, if you see a rabbit eating carrot, if you see a bear in the zoo, and bear is a herbivore, carnivore, or an omnivore? What kind of an animal is?
Omnivore.
Omnivore. Yeah, bear is an omnivore. So when you see bear eating both of the things, again you're seeing it. So what is your content there? It is from visual. This type of visual information, and you do the thinking process. You add it into memory. So that forms the operations involved. Then you classify all these animals into herbivore, omnivore, carnivore. That is your product. Understood? That is how the process is usually done. So J.P. Guilford's theory, the speciality is it has a three-dimensional depiction of intelligence. It has the three dimensions as operations, contents, products. And how many are there? 6 operations, 5 contents, and 6 products are there, which makes up 180 cells in the three-dimensional figure or three-dimensional depiction. And you have to learn what those 6 operations and 5 contents and 6 products are. You will have to learn. Somehow we will have to put that into our heads. Even the primary mental abilities also, we have to learn it somehow, because I cannot guarantee which question will be asked in the +2 board exam, because I'm not setting the question paper. So the problem in +2 is question can come from every nook and corner of the textbook. Okay. So make sure you learned very, very, very thoroughly. Did you understand till now? Yes? Amal? Yes. Okay. And where did Amal Raj go? My dear? You're there? Okay. Are you able to follow? Yes. Okay. So till now, we saw how many theories? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 theories. These 5 theories are under which approach of intelligence?
Psychometric.
Psychometric approach. What is the other name for psychometric approach?
Structural.
Structural approach. Okay. So 1 factor theory, 2 factor theory, then it comes to which factor? Too many factors, which is primary mental abilities. Then level 1 and level 2, hierarchical model. Then comes last one. Which model? Or what type of model?
3-dimensional.
3-dimensional model. Okay, and who are the proponents? Alfred Binet, Charles Spearman, Louis Thurston, Arthur Jensen, J.P. Guilford. Fine. Okay. Now I told you to find out some mnemonics for primary mental abilities. Did you find out? Elvina smiling. I think she tried. Yes.
Yes, ma'am. But
But
it's a kind of funny.
yeah, funny. We need funny. You tend to remember more funnier things. Um, Elvina left. So anybody else who tried? If not, we'll try now. Ashish, you tried? No. Even if you try, you won't tell me. Okay, just try reading it. Primary mental abilities. You can make up a story or an image or a combination of both. First letter technique, it's better not to use it because you have so many new terms there. Verbal comprehension and phrases are also there. So it's better not to use what? First letter technique. Elvina is back. Come on. Share with us. No sound.
PM
PM.
PM for Prime Minister,
Hmm.
and Prime Minister
Hmm.
went on IAS,
Ah,
and there
that
is
is
no,
really funny. Prime Minister going for IAS.
but that in that IAS we is not there, but I matched them like Vikrant. Prime Minister went on IAS Vikrant.
Okay. Prime Minister went on. I'll write on the board. Wait.
Vikrant. We is not
Fine.
there,
V is not there.
but I
Just tell me the code. Prime Minister.
Prime Minister went on IAS.
Hmm. And which are the factors? And where are the rest of the factors? How many are
This
there?
V
Huh?
V
V.
for
Okay. Then 6 are there. Where is the 7th one?
that WI for.
We'll add here. Prime Minister went, right? So Prime Minister went. Okay. And what are the PMWIASV? P for
Perceive,
per-
speed,
perceptual speed. P for perceptual speed. M for
memory,
memory. Yes. And W for
word fluency,
fluency. Yes. I for
I for inductive reasoning,
inductive reasoning. A for
A for um, A for
leave that. S for
spatial relations,
spatial relations. V for verbal.
verbal comprehension,
Now find out what A was.
and numerical abilities.
Then where did A come from? We'll make it INS. Okay. Now, what is the problem with using first letter techniques too many times is that I told you this is just the starting of the chapter and still we have too many mnemonics, isn't it? So if you use the first letter technique, finally what happens is you remember the codes, but you don't remember for what the code was. Understood? But the lifespan perspective was a story. You still remember most of the points, right? So relate the words and study. So it'd be much easier. As of now, it is okay, but when more information comes, you'll find it very difficult. First letter techniques are more important for short-term memory. For long-term memory, for very long-term memory, you need to apply them more. Okay. So that's it. If you want, try to find some other mnemonic also. And this one also, the three-dimensional model, you have to study 6 into 5 into 6, all those factors. There are 6 operations, 5 contents, and again 6 products. So you'll have to learn them also. Amal, read and come for tomorrow. Not read, study and come for tomorrow. Okay, everybody. Amal Kesaji, you too. Okay, fine then. We'll wind up. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.